Trump says U.S. wants investigators to go to China. President Donald Trump said Sunday the U.S. still wants investigators to go to China to investigate the coronavirus outbreak. The U.S. has previously made requests, which have been rebuffed. The White House has continually accused China of withholding accurate information about the extent of the virus within the country. About 14% of the New York Police Department were out sick on Sunday, that's down from a high of 19.8%, according to a daily NYPD report. "We are talking to China. We spoke to them a long time ago about going in. We want to go in," Trump said Sunday at a coronavirus task force briefing. To date, 4,371 members of the NYPD have tested positive for COVID-19. Of those, 2,270 members have recovered and returned to work, and 2,073 are still out sick, the report said. Those out sick include 1,706 uniformed members and 367 civilian members. Trump says he will invoke the Defense Production Act to increase production of swabs. President Donald Trump said he is planning to use the Defense Production Act again, this time to help with the production of swabs needed to conduct coronavirus tests. Trump said the administration is close to finalizing a deal with a company that will convert its plant to produce 10 million swabs per month, but that he would use the DPA to force another company to do the same. "We also are going to be using and preparing to use the Defense Production Act to increase swab production in one U.S. facility by over 20 million additional swabs per month. We've had a little difficulty with one, so we'll call in, as we have in the past. As you know, we are calling in the Defense Production Act and we'll be getting swabs very easily," Trump said. Trump did not name either company. Governors on both sides of the aisle have complained that one of the reasons states cannot conduct enough coronavirus tests is that they lack the materials needed to conduct such tests, including swabs. Trump said last week 5 million swabs were going to be sent to the states but did not provide specifics. Trump says deal on additional funding for small businesses could happen Monday. President Donald Trump opened Sunday's coronavirus task force briefing by saying negotiations over adding hundreds of billions of dollars to the Paycheck Protection Program are continuing to make progress, and that a deal could be announced Monday. Trump said he thinks the sides are getting close to a deal. "I would like to begin by saying we are continuing to negotiate with the Democrats to get our great workers and small businesses all over the country taken care of. I think we are getting close to a deal. It could happen. It could happen. A lot of good work has been going on and we could have an answer tomorrow and we are going to see what exactly does take place," Trump said. The president also said there will additional aid in the package. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told CNN's State of the Union earlier Sunday that $75 billion will be included for hospitals. "We are also looking at helping our hospitals and our rural hospitals who have been hurt very badly. The rural hospitals for a long time have not been treated properly. We are looking to help them and beyond. So we are looking at hospitals also as part of the package," Trump said. Trump said he had just gotten off the phone with Mnuchin and concluded by saying, "I think you will have a nice answer tomorrow." 12,000 coronavirus testing kits in Washington recalled because of possible contamination. About 12,000 coronavirus testing kits distributed by the Washington Department of Health have been recalled because of possible contamination, according to a news release from the Health Department. Friday, University of Washington Medicine notified the state health department that there may have been a quality control issue after a small number of vials of viral transport media (VTM) fluid appeared to have an unusual color, according to the release. The testing kits in question were sent to local health jurisdictions, tribal nations, and state agency partners across the state, the news release said. Jurisdictions that received the kits are encouraged to contact the health department for a new shipment of swabs and VTM transport tubes, according to the release. A large shipment of swabs and VTM from a different vendor are expected to arrive in the state this week, the release said. There are at least 755,533 coronavirus cases in the U.S. There are at least 755,533 cases of coronavirus in the United States and at least 40,461 deaths, according to Johns Hopkins University's tally. The total includes cases from all 50 states, the District of Columbia and other U.S. territories, as well as all repatriated cases. View CNN's interactive map tracking the coronavirus in the United States. Despite larger capacity, Illinois still struggling to complete all testing due to lack of resources. Illinois Gov. J.B. Pritzker said that while the state has machines to complete coronavirus testing, it doesn't have all of the resources needed to analyze all tests on a larger scale. Testing kits are available and machines are available, but there are key components needed to analyze all collected samples, Pritzker said. Such components include swabs, viral transport mechanisms to send swabs for testing, reagents, RNA extractors and available lab technicians to complete testings, according to Pritzker. Trump counters governors' pleas for help, testing is a local thing. Amid rising tensions with governors, President Donald Trump touted the number of coronavirus tests being conducted in the United States, insisting that the federal government is helping states get needed supplies and announcing that he is invoking the Defense Production Act to help with producing nasal swabs, a critical component for testing. Our testing is expanding very rapidly by millions and millions of people, Trump claimed Sunday night during the coronavirus task force briefing. It was unclear why the president cited that number since the U.S. is only testing about 150,000 people daily. A day after he lashed out at governors, the president said he was working very well with governors and played clips of New York Gov. Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat, praising aspects of the federal response. At the same time, Trump continued to contend that the federal government cannot be responsible for testing in each community. The governors wanted to have total control over the opening of their states. But now they want to have us, the federal government, do the testing, Trump said. Testing is local. You can't have it both ways. Testing is a local thing. It's very important. It's great. But it's a local thing. And we are going to get it done to a level in a very short period of time. All the swabs are coming in, all the necessary materials. A lot of them are already there, but a lot of people don't know that yet. Addressing some of the concerns from governors in recent days about the lack of supplies needed to conduct the tests, he held up one of the nasal swabs that is being used in some tests and compared it to a Q-tip, while acknowledging that it is a more complex tool. Last week, Trump said the administration is sending out more than 5 million nasal swabs, but he said Sunday some states don't know where they are. The president said he is using the Defense Production Act to ramp up production of swabs, a critical component of the tests that has been in short supply in many states across the country. The swabs, that's easy, Trump continued. We have them coming in by the tens of millions. He said the nation will end up with so many swabs, you won't know what to do with them. The administration is finalizing a deal with a company that is converting its plant to produce 10 million swabs per month and is using his powers under the Defense Production Act to force another company to match that production so the nation will have access to 20 million additional swabs per month. Two people familiar with the decision told CNN that company is Puritan Medical Products, which is based in Maine. It is known for making flocked swabs, which it says are better at collecting specimens than others. Trump said the administration had experienced difficulty with the company, but did not elaborate further. Puritan did not immediately respond to CNN's request for comment. Relationship with governors. Trump announced that Vice President Mike Pence will call the nation's governors Monday after several days of tension over who should be responsible for obtaining the critical components needed to conduct coronavirus tests, including nasal swabs, the viral transport medium need to carry the specimens and chemical reagent, which is used to help determine the diagnosis. Pence plans to make the call from the Federal Emergency Management Agency's headquarters to discuss coronavirus testing and develop locally tailored testing strategies. Last week, in what many viewed as an effort to shift the blame over concerns about inadequate testing, Trump tweeted the states have to step up their testing. On Saturday, he lashed out at governors for complaining, asserting that they were politicizing the testing issue in the same fashion as when they were calling for ventilators in recent weeks. But even some Republican governors are disputing that notion, stating that it will be impossible to reopen private businesses, as Trump wants to do by early May, without expansive testing to know who is healthy and who is not. On CNN's State of the Union, Maryland Gov. Larry Hogan, a Republican, said the lack of testing is the #1 problem in America and has been since the beginning of the crisis. Quote, "The administration, I think, is trying to ramp up testing. They are doing some things with respect to private labs," Hogan told CNN's Jake Tapper. But to try and push this off to say that the governors have plenty of testing and they should just get to work on testing, somehow we aren't doing our job, is just absolutely false. Quote, "On NBC's Meet the Press Sunday, Ohio Gov. Mike DeWine, also a Republican, said he could probably double or even triple testing virtually overnight if the FDA would prioritize companies that are putting a slightly different formula together for the extraction reagent kit. Quote, "We have a shortage, worldwide shortage, of some of the materials that go into this," DeWine told NBC's Chuck Todd. "So, we really need help. If anybody in the FDA is watching, this would really take our capacity up, literally Chuck, overnight." Quote, Cuomo warned on Sunday that if New York were to open businesses too quickly, the cases would accelerate again instead of that number going down. We plateaued, it's coming down the other side. That is good news, Cuomo said Sunday. So we exhale, we can control the beast, yes, but the beast is still alive. We did not kill the beast. And the beast can rise up again. Quote, "Even when some businesses are allowed to reopen at an undetermined date in the future," he said state officials will be closely monitoring the infection and hospitalization rates. "If the infection begins to spread again, you can go right back to where you were in 1 week's time," Cuomo said. "And if we went through all of this and lost all of these people and forced essential workers and hospital workers to do unbelievable tasks to get us through this crisis, and we recreate the crisis, then shame on us."